find a strap. Let me go grab my strap. We're going to get started in kneeling position. You might want to use those blocks to help you. Okay, so my favorite way to use the blocks when kneeling is to actually place a block underneath of my whole body. I'm going to place it on the low side because I'm feeling pretty flexible today. But you can do whatever feels good for you, whether you're using your block, maybe your legs are close together, maybe your legs are wide. Bring the second block into play. Shoulders relax away from your ears. Just start to melt into your space, into this moment and your breath. Long, slow, deep inhales in through your nose. And make that exhale through your nose or mouth even longer than your inhale. As you've relaxed here for a couple breaths, start to check out what your body is doing. Are you rounding or arching your back a lot? If your posture is not very good here, can you create a little length through the crown of your head? Shoulders roll down away from your ears, low belly pulled in to gently engage and keep your spine relaxed and elbows heavy towards the floor. If you notice that your shoulders are creeping up with each of your breaths, that's just a sign of stress and it's totally normal. But let's do our best to stay relaxed and find some heaviness in the arms towards the floor. We've got a few breaths left here. And if you want to set an intention for today's practice, now is a fantastic time to do so. Whether there is a positive affirmation that you shall repeat to yourself, such as, I'm enough, and I'm worth it, and I'm worthy, and there's no one better to be than myself. Or maybe you're giving some positive energy or sending energy out to someone else. All beautiful. Remember throughout today's practice that your breath is your guide. So if you come into any stretch that's so deep that you find yourself holding your breath, ease your way back out to where your breath feels natural. And some stretches might be a little uncomfortable. You might even notice some shaking or trembling or twitching. And it's okay to be a little uncomfortable, but if things start to get painful, ease your way back to just some good old discomfort. And hopefully you have a sense of where your practice is going, either that focused intention and mantra or just the desire to receive some good energy, put some good energy out, and take some big breaths. And we're definitely going to do that today. Bring your hands, palms down to the floor in tabletop. Spread your fingers nice and wide. You can move your blocks to the side. We don't need them right now. And when you're ready, come into some cat-cow. So some rounding of your back, looking towards your knees, and pulling your chest forward towards your triceps. Look up towards the ceiling. Find a stretch in your throat. No need to just do cat-cow, right? Rounding, I'm not making up words. Flexing your spine. Maybe you shake or shimmy through your hips. Maybe you make some big circles with your hips. You've got one more full minute to just explore what your body needs today at any pace that you want to go. I know I like to move really slowly. I like to keep my breath as slow as possible. But if you're not there yet, and if that's not your goal, then that's okay too. You're here to do what's right for you. So as I suggest some asanas, I hope you'll join me in them. But if you feel strongly called to do something else, or to just relax in child's pose, or to come back to your savasana at any point, then I hope you'll do that too. Next up, let's actually take a child's pose. So finish out whatever direction you are enjoying for your cat-cow. Open your knees as wide as you want. Send your glutes back towards your heels. Extend your arms towards the top of the mat. Head and hairline come down towards the floor. If you want more of a stretch in your arms, you can always tent your fingers, pressing the pads of the fingers into the floor. And if you want less of a stretch of your arms, take a generous bend of your elbows. Maybe even reaching your hands all the way back towards your feet. Back to your breath. Big breaths to the back side of the body. Start a slow scan of your body head to toe, one breath at a time. And inhale, notice how you're feeling in that space. And exhale, can you relax a little bit more? If you notice any spots that seem particularly tense, then once you finish your scan, come back to them. Check back in, see if you can create space there again, or just create the intention of space. If you reach your hands to the back of your mat, drag your fingers gently forward to your shoulders. If your hands were extended all the way forward, pull them back. And let's press ourselves up to tabletop again. One more really slow cat. One more really slow cow. Nice neutral tabletop. Walk your hands palms forward about a foot. Let's start with the right leg. Right knee is going to draw up to your right wrist. Okay. Wiggle your toes to the left side of the mat and then send your left leg long behind you. You can even look over your left shoulder and make sure that it's straight. Walk your hands in and lift yourself up. We're trying to get this left hip crease to the mat so there is floating under the right glute. We don't want to be sitting down on the right glute and opening up to the left side. If anything, think towards pulling your left hip forward towards the floor and stretching your right glute towards the back of the mat more. Find a big lift. Stretch your chin up towards the ceiling. Shoulders away from your ears. And on your exhale, you can lower yourself down to your block or the floor. And then find what feels good for you. If you want to take some extra rounding in your back, you can. If you want, you can pull your chest forward and create a little extra space in your shoulders. Come closer, block. And if your head feels heavy, because I know mine does, so much brain, going to use the block to relax your head on the block. Still pulling left hip forward and right hip back. Maybe your hip or your belly is resting somewhere on your left heel. Come back to your slow, steady breath. Let's spend one more minute here. Amazing. If you lowered yourself down to the floor, we're going to gently lift ourselves up. And now we are going to roll onto that right glute. Flip your left leg over. Coming into half dragonfly. Right heel comes to the center line of your body, maybe all the way over to the left thigh. Hands can be behind you, or for a deeper stretch, hands can come in front of you. You can allow your toe to do whatever it wants for today. Flex to your face for more, away for less, maybe even falling in gently towards the center. One leg is going to be tighter than the other as well. So enjoy wherever you can breathe deeply here today. We've got a bit of time to go. Remember, if your eyes are moving, your mind is moving. So find one spot, gently relax your eyes or simply close them and stay tuned into your breath and your stillness. If you took a forward fold, carefully press yourself up and let's switch our legs. Right leg extends long this time, left leg folds in, heel to your center line or to your right thigh bicep. Hands can be behind you to help ease the stretch or gently in front of you for a little bit more. And if you want a lot more, lower yourself down. Find what feels right for your toe. Whoa, I'm feeling really tight today, so I'm going to stay lifted. Just focus on breath, creating heaviness of both sit bones down to the floor. Okay, let's find that pigeon on the other side. So we're going to bring the left shin to be parallel with the top of the mat. As we roll onto the right leg, start to walk, wiggle your right leg back. Find the stretch that's right for you, an option to look over your right shoulder. And make sure that leg is nice and long. Hands come close by, right hip draws forward, left hip draws back. Look up towards the sky, shoulders away from your ears. Find that big stretch of your neck. And then chin gently towards your chest. Lower yourself down to a block or the floor. And if your head is heavy, placing your head on the block or in your hands. Back to breathing. Start a scan of your body again, tips of your fingers, tops of your head, all the way down to your toes, one breath at a time. How can you relax more? How can you release your right upper thigh, that right hip bone, closer to your heel or your shin or the mat? That left glute is gently floating. If you lowered yourself down, slowly press yourself back up. Roll onto that left glute. This time, let's extend both legs long for a little double full dragonfly. Oh my goodness. Hands can once again be behind you, or they can come gently in front of you. Just keep both of your sit bones on the floor. Find where you can breathe and create a stretch for your inner thighs that feels meaningful. Awesome. If you fold it forward, slowly lift yourself up. We're going to gently bob or walk your legs back in front of you. Bob your knees, windshield wipe your feet. Hands can come behind you for a quick supported back bend as well. We'll take a moment in the seated position to get a couple extra stretches. Next up is one of my favorite. We're going to go for success in meditation. So left heel coming close to your center line. We're going to bring the right heel right in front of it. So ideally, cramp in my foot. You don't even see both of my heels. Someone's dehydrated. Okay, so working towards lining those two heels up. Hands can be by your side or hands can be at your knees. Maybe you even take a mudra with your hands, chest lifts, low belly pulled in to support your spine. Let's hang out here. And if success in meditation does not feel comfortable or accessible for you, then please just take a moment and enjoy Sukhasana, a comfortable, easy seated position of your choice. Excellent. Bring your hands to your knees. You can stay in success in meditation or switch to a different seated position. Let's just take a moment to enjoy a quick little cat-cow. So chin tucks towards your chest, big rounding through your back. You can have some pressure on your hands to help find that rounding. And then pull your chest forward and up. Squeeze shoulder blades together, stretch chin towards the ceiling. Moving with your own breath, just taking 1 minute here. Finishing up each direction. Beautiful. Go ahead, extend your legs nice and long in front of you. Working our way down our backs. Next up, we'll take caterpillar or staff pose. If your hamstrings are really tight, having your legs extended forward might be very uncomfortable, in which case I recommend sitting yourself up on a block. Otherwise, you can have your hands by your hips. You can even have a bend in your knees right here. If you are ready or you want more, start to walk yourself forward, maybe walking your glutes back to help you with that hinge of your hips to bring your belly to your thighs. So as we're reaching for our toes, we don't want to have a big space between belly and thighs. We're working to create that sandwich, which can definitely start with your knees bent and then working towards releasing your block. And join us at this party once again. Relaxing your breath and start the scan of your body from head to toe. Ask yourself, how can you relax a little bit more? We've got just 1 minute here. Draw your low belly in and carefully lift yourself up. Keep your block nearby. We'll use it shortly. Let's lay down on our backs. As you get to your back, draw your knees to your chest. Knees can be nice and wide. Take a moment, gently rock your spine along your mat, relaxing your whole spine on the mat. And once you feel pretty good about having your entire back on the floor, with your knees still to your chest, make some circles in one direction, massaging your low back, and then make circles in the opposite direction. Great. Both knees draw to your chest, elbows stretch down towards your hips, feet relaxed. You can squeeze your inner thighs in towards each other for a little bit more stimulation of your belly, and start to check out what's happening with your neck, with your chin. If your chin is stretching towards the ceiling, if you don't have a lot of the back of your head and neck on the floor, tuck your chin to your chest, keep the back of your head on the floor. Create some space, shoulders away from ears, elbows towards your hip, and stretch from the crown of your head to the wall behind you, from your tailbone, your sacrum, to the bottom of the mat. Keep drawing your knees to your chest. Keep pulling your chin to your chest. Make sure you're still breathing. One more deep inhale. On your exhale, relax the soles of the feet down to the floor. Oh, pardon me. Even press into your feet for a moment. Lift yourself up, relax your back again. We're going to open our knees out wide to the side, soles of the feet come together for a reclined bound angle. Once I'm here, I like to once again press into the outer edges of the feet. Make sure that my glutes are as relaxed as possible. You can always use your blocks and place your blocks underneath the outer edges of your thighs, or even place your blocks at an angle to really help support your legs. If you don't happen to have any blocks today, or you just can't reach them, try and wiggle your toes closer towards the bottom of the mat, and then find whatever feels good for your upper body. You can keep your hands on your belly. You can extend your arms out wide to the side, maybe a little football goal post with the arms, gentle stretch of the pecs, or arms reaching all the way up overhead, a little bit more love into your lats. Just find what feels good. Let's sink into this moment. So we're going to send our knees back up towards the ceiling. Soles of the feet come down to the floor. Arms might come down for your side, by your sides for some support. Take a moment and windshield wipe your legs left and right, left and right. As you do so, open your feet wide. As wide or maybe slightly wider than mat's width distance apart. And when you're ready, we're going to take a spine twist from here, whichever direction you'd like to allow your knees to fall first. I'm going to let my knees fall to the right while still having this very wide stagger. Working to the idea of that left leg, inner thigh, knee coming towards the floor, but it is not touching. If that's uncomfortable for you, for it to not touch, you can always slide a block underneath or slide your legs back together. Take a traditional spine twist. Otherwise, this wide leg spine twist is going to stretch a little bit more of the exterior hips. We've gotten some great stretches to our inner legs today, inner thighs. Let's get those outer thighs as well. Once again, your hands can be wherever you want. And if you would like a gentle stretch of your neck, turn, twist, look in the opposite direction of your knees and back to your slow, steady breath. Use that slow, steady breath as you scan your body 1 inch, 1 breath at a time, relaxing your head, your shoulders, your neck, your chest, your arms and your fingers, your back and your belly, your glutes, your thighs, your knees, your ankles, your feet, and your toes. If you turned your head out of line with your heart, slowly bring them back together. Send your knees back up towards the ceiling. Begin a slow windshield wipe left and right. If your feet started to come closer together, open them nice and wide once again. You might even find that it feels good to shift your hips to the opposite side. And when you're ready, knees fall once again. This time I'm allowing my knees to fall heavy to the left. Settling, sinking into the moment. As you're ready, option to turn, twist your head in the opposite direction of your legs. Arms can be wherever they want. turn your head out of line with your heart. Slowly bring your head back in line with your heart. Send your knees back up to the ceiling. Create that windshield wipe once again. This time as you walk your feet in closer towards each other. Grab hold of your block. Press into the soles of your feet. Use your inhale to lift your back up and slide that block at your low back, right at the base of your tailbone, glutes hanging off of one side. Your block can be high, your block can be low, and your arms can stay right here by your side for some support. Chin gently is tucked towards your chest. Gives a slight throat choking sensation. If you want, you can wiggle your feet further from the center line. Maybe even extending your legs all the way out for more of a stretch into your low belly, into your digestive system. Once you found a place that your feet feel comfortable, option to inhale your arms all the way up overhead as well. For a nice supported glute bridge. As you exhale, low back heavily presses into your block, a little soft myofascial release. If your arms are up overhead, gently bring your arms back down by your side. And if you've extended your legs, carefully wiggle your legs back into the center line. Once the soles of the feet are firmly planted on the floor under your knees, low belly pulled in, use your inhale, lift yourself up, and exhale one vertebrae at a time. Paint your spine down your mat. Once it's there, simply extend your legs nice and long. I've run out of space, so I will also extend my legs nice and long. Arms down by your side as we come into a final savasana. If you would like to open your legs wider or your arms wider, then go for it. I like that sensation of heels touch, toes fall open. But if your low back is tense or tired or feels uncomfortable at all, then bending your knees and tenting your knees in towards each other with the soles of the feet on the floor can maybe help you find that relaxed spinal position that works for you. Otherwise, simply melting into your mat space and coming back to the intention that you set for today's class. And if you didn't set an intention for today's class, it is not too late to do so. And whether it's your positive intention or something else, take a moment right now to bring some positivity into your breath, into your heart. Can you reflect on something you're proud of yourself for doing today or this week or this month? I hope that you, like me, found a smile on your face thinking of something that you could really take some pride and joy in. Until we are together again, may you be filled with many wonderful thoughts. Create time for yourself to speak good words, to eat good foods, to do good deeds, and to nourish yourself every day from your inside. If no one's told you today, you are special and you're worth it and you're worthy. And today does have the power to be an amazing day simply because you showed up for and made time for yourself, for your breath, for your health, for some stillness. I encourage you to stay here in this final savasana for at least a little bit longer, if not a lot longer, and we'll close out our practice today here on the floor. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope you enjoy the rest of your practice, the rest of your day, the rest of this week, month, and year. Namaste.